Oh hi there, and welcome to Super Skarmory's Mario Kart 7 walkthrough, drive-through, playthrough, let's play. I don't really know what to call this. If you're new to my videos, welcome. If you're familiar with my videos, I'm probably going to be covering this game a bit differently than I do most guides. Mario Kart 7 is a very straightforward game and is not difficult to understand. It's a racing game. And most of what you need to know can be explained in a pretty short period of time, so that's what this first video is going to be about. I'm going to be explaining the basics of the game. And then after that, I'm actually joined by my friend Majorasfan, whom you may know as Fiddling Pineapples or Nick.
Hello, hello.
And we're just going to be having fun racing the rest of the cups. There's 8 cups, like race tournaments, and we'll be using the first one to explain the game, and the rest of them, like I said, it's going to be more like a drive-through, give you a feel for how each of the race tracks are laid out. And other than that, you really don't need to know much beyond that. Before we get started racing, there's a few things I want to talk about. And before I get started on anything, I have a semi-important announcement I'd like to make in regards particularly to online play. I'm going to be ignoring online play in this guide, but Mario Kart 7 does have pretty decent online capabilities. And for the summer, me and a couple of my friends, Nick included, we wanted to set up something that I've done in the past where I had like a forums, a website. And this time around, we're actually going all out, and we decided to make an official Super Skarmory website at superskarmory.net. If you'd like to check that out, feel free. The link is in the description, and we're hoping that you'd like to join us. We're hoping we can do some online tournaments. Mario Kart 7 is a great way to test that, so please check that out. Other than that, you might be interested in other things there, and we're still getting it set up, so please be patient with us. But yeah, we really hope you go check that out. And of course, if you need any news updates, we should have stuff there, as well as my Twitter and Facebook. So ignoring online stuff, we're going to be focusing primarily on single player, and even more specifically, this guide's going to focus pretty much only on the Grand Prix. On the bottom screen, you'd be able to see the other options. Time trials is basically the Grand Prix, except where you compete for a top time. This is kind of pointless to cover. And then there's also Balloon Battle and Coin Runners. These are like alternate mini games. I'm not covering them in this guide. They're really self-explanatory, and I want to focus more on just generic driving in general, but it would be worth checking out those other game modes if you want. They're pretty fun. So yeah, we're gonna focus on Grand Prix here, and again, I'm sorry I can't show the bottom screen for your options. But anyways, we have 4 difficulties here: 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, and mirror mode, and they all get progressively difficult, more difficult, except Mirror Cup is actually, the tracks are flipped, they're reversed. If you're familiar with old school racing games or past Mario Karts, this shouldn't be anything new to you. I've been asked a lot about how I'm going to cover this game, because it's not a very detailed, like there's not a lot to talk about in terms of a walkthrough, and that's what I normally do. So we're going to make this short. I'm just covering the races on 150cc, which is the hardest difficulty, and 50cc and 100cc are easier. So I think it's important for you to at least get a feel for the tracks, and mirror mode plays with your mind. I'd rather you at least see the tracks the way they're supposed to be played, because that's not how you're going to race them anywhere aside from Mirror Cup. So after you pick your difficulty, which you're going to be able to pick your driver, of course there's my amazing me, and I'm going to be using my me for this tournament, for this entire guide, because I just am used to it, and his weird laugh is oddly annoying, but somehow I like it anyway. Your starting drivers, if you have a clean profile: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, DK, Toad, and Koopa. Now, there's 8 other characters. You're going to see them in upcoming tournaments. If you beat a 150cc tournament, you can unlock Daisy, Wario, Rosalina, Metal Mario, Shy Guy, Queen Bee, Wiggler, and Lakitu. And then, of course, you could also unlock your Mii after you beat, on any difficulty, all of the tournaments. So I'm going to be racing with my Mii. different characters race different ways based on how big of a character they are. Like, for instance, Bowser's going to obviously be a lot heavier, and you'll see different characters affect the stats that are listed on the left here, which are speed, acceleration, weight, handling, and off-road abilities. I think those are all pretty self-explanatory. Speeds, how fast you can go. Acceleration, how quickly you can get to higher speeds, and then the rest, yeah. So you can adjust these stats based on the character you're using and the customization of your cart on the bottom screen. You can customize your cart, your wheel, and in this game, I think this is new to Mario Kart, as well as the parasail on your back. Now, you can customize each of these three things, and they will shift stats. Typically, you have to take away from certain stats to gain in others, so like speed and acceleration are often interchanged. Now, just a head forewarning, you have to unlock a lot of the cart customizations by playing this game. Now, I have a cart customization setup that I personally like, and you have to play this game for yourself to decide what you really like yourself. And you may not like playing as the Mii. You may like playing with Bowser all-out high speeds. I personally like higher acceleration, and I've found that this cart setup has been probably one of my best personally. It's all about how you play the game, and you have to experiment in order to optimize your driving. And then the last thing you have is obviously selecting which cup you're going to be racing. You have to unlock these if you haven't played the game at all before. Now, we're going to be using the Mushroom Cup, which is displayed right now as your opening starting tournament. The top 4 tournaments are all new tracks. The bottom 4 tournaments have old school tracks from past Mario Kart games. So just keep that in mind when racing, especially if you're a long-time Mario Kart fan. I'm actually relatively new to Mario Kart myself, but without further ado, I think I've hit you with large enough a wall of text, so let's get racing. And welcome to the Mushroom Cup. The first race is the Toad Circuit. This is about the most generic racetrack you can ask for. So if you're new to this game, it's a great place to start. Basically, all 8 drivers will be lined up. There will always be 8 drivers, and each race is, well, most races are typically 3 laps. And then there are like 2 races that are done in sections rather than laps. First thing you should probably note, off the start line, everyone in this race pretty much got a huge boost off the start. And that's basically a very quick start. That's what you want to do in every race. You have to time it perfectly. And press A, which is your acceleration, is at the best optimal time, and hold it down, which is typically right when the 2 is about to fade away on the screen. Whoa, I got hit there. So that's how you get started off the launch, and that is a very important skill to master. It'll take a little bit getting used to if you're new to the game. Other than that, you should get adjusted to it relatively quickly. Now, one of the main features in any Mario Kart game is the items that you can get. And there's a very extensive list of items you can get, and judging on where you're at in the field, it will most likely affect the items you're getting. I'm going to go through all the items. There's a lot of them, so bear with me. The first one that you've already seen a little bit is the banana pills. Banana pills are irritating in the sense that the AI uses them a lot to just clutter up the road so you slip and slide. If you hit a banana pill, you slip. You can throw them both forward or hold them behind you or drop them behind you. Typically, the best way to go about using banana pills is using them defensively to have them behind your back like I am. You can hold the L button down if you only get 1. Triple shells, you can press the button once and all 3 will stay behind you. And that will help reflect anything like incoming shells, fireballs, anything that will cause you to spin out. Green shells also come in single and triple bunches, and green shells are straight shot Koopa shells. And whatever they hit, they destroy, spin out, whatever. They're not difficult to avoid, and again, you'll be seeing those a lot if you're in the front of the pack. Now, I like using them defensively. There are some rare times where they're good on the offensive side. Did I say they're good offensively? I meant defensively. I am rambling and saying too much at once.
Said defensive.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of losing track of what I'm saying. It happens. Red shells are basically green shells, except they home in on people like I just used on Mario accidentally because my hand slipped. Sorry, I'm filming at a very weird angle for this game. They also come in the triple bunch variety where they spin around you. Typically, you don't get them when you're at the very front of the pack, but you'll get them when you're more towards the back. Whoa. I like using them offensively as opposed to defensively, but there are times where it's best to just have them for the defense. Now, the blue shell, you might have just saw one fly by. This is the ultimate greatest evil in this entire game, especially for you who is trying to win races, because it basically homes in on the person in the lead. Now, I'm going to get in more in detail into blue shells later, but it's best to have them, well, if you get one, use it, because you're going to cause chaos to the person in the lead. But most of the times, chances are you're going to be dodging them. Mushrooms are speed boosts. I don't know, I'm a huge Need for Speed fan, so if you've ever played those games, it's like a nitrous boost, basically. And they also come in the triple variety, and then there's also actually golden mushrooms, which basically give you unlimited boost for a certain period of time. So, oh my, did not see that one coming. Well played, whoever used that. What the...
Mario!
By the way, just for the record, when you do start playing on higher levels, this is going to happen a lot where you get clobbered by 50 million things at once and you're going to be like, that was the most unfair thing ever, I hate my life. And you'll get used to it. And it does happen a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't win, which is lame because I was trying to go for all wins, but that didn't happen. Continuing on the item track, there is superstars. You might know these as invincibility stars. They function the same as they do in regular Mario games, where you're basically immune to all effects, and if you hit anyone, it's going to cause some serious problems for them and cause them to spin out. Superstar, Lightning. Lightning is evil. Oh, I burned out on the start line. Fine.
Impressive.
Make fun of me, Nick. Do it.
Oh, I can't wait till you do it in the real race. I'll be all like, and here we are on the racing like, and he burns out. I'll hope a victory lost. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not actually trying very hard at racing right now because I'm more focused on my endless spew of knowledge to throw in your face. So, but anyways, invincibility stars are great. You're only going to see these when you're in the back of the pack. Sorry, the good items you only get when you're losing. Lightning is likewise just as irritating. In fact, lightning, in my opinion, is the greatest item in the game because it stuns everybody on the entire field except for you, and that causes them to spin out, lose coins. It's just a nightmare. And there's no dodging it. It also gets rid of all items in your inventory or any that are trailing behind you. So basically, if lightning is on the field, you might as well just cry in a corner because you're doomed. Good news about it is everyone is getting hit by it, and chances are if you're at the front of the pack, the person who used it's nowhere near you. So that is the one good advantage about lightning. Bloopers are used to basically put an oil spill in your face. It stinks. It's awful. You can't see, but because this game has the bottom screen, you can kind of judge where you're going just from that, and it's really not that bad. Bob-ombs, in my opinion, are one of the more useless items, and unfortunately you do get them when you're more in the back. There's a lightning bolt, nothing you can do.
Also mentioned about the lightning, I don't know if you said that, I don't think you did, but the farther back you are, the quicker you turn to normal size. Like, if you're the one who did it and you used it, you don't get affected, but say you're an 8th, the person in 7th turns back, then 6th and 5th, and if you're in 1st place, you turn back the latest. So it sort of brings everyone a little closer, just by doing that.
It's a field evener. It helps. How did I win that? I'm not going to question that. But yes, thank you for saying that because I did not say it. Bob-ombs, relatively useless in my opinion. They just blow up an area. Bullet bills are used to basically get an invincibility boost. It's kind of like a star, except you just shoot forward and knock out anything in your path. Fire flowers are kind of like self-explanatory like regular Mario game. They shoot fireballs for a limited amount of time. Not overly useful. I tend to get them when I'm like between second and fourth. And then the last item is your Super Leaf, which is the new item to the game. It's probably in honor of Super Mario 3D Land. And the unfortunate part about this item, this new item, is it sucks. I hate it. It's useless. You get it when you're at the front of the pack. And it's so short-ranged that its uses are highly limited. Now there is one last item, the Lucky 7, and this basically gives you a whole arrayment of a bunch of items. So that is nice and convenient, but I don't really care for it because it's kind of difficult to judge what you're using. You have to be careful with how you use it. It could be very helpful or that stinks. And that's why, like, what just happened to me is one of those things that's going to happen to you, and unfortunately, this game is slightly luck-based. Sometimes you're going to have races where nothing bad happens and you can sit comfortably in the lead. And then there's going to be races where somebody keeps shooting blue shells off and it's like, well, this stinks. So that's your endless item list, and I'm sorry, there's a lot of them, but you'll get used to them quickly, and I think a lot of them are self-explanatory in what they do. So it shouldn't be too difficult to get used to them. And really, it just comes with time playing the game. Ow. Oh my goodness, I'm not paying attention to my driving. I'm actually highly impressed because I have not paid an ounce of attention to my driving whatsoever this entire time, and I'm actually not doing bad at all. Okay, I'm getting really irritated here. Hey, never mind. Anyways, there actually is some other things I haven't talked about. I didn't realize I'd blow through this tournament as fastly as I did with saying as little as I did. So I'll be covering things in the next video as well, probably. One of the things laying around the field is coins, and you might be thinking, what is the purpose of these? Coins are highly beneficial because what coins do is they give you, if you get all 10 of them, they actually do give you a slight speed boost, or so I've read. I'm actually not sure if this is true, but everywhere I read, they say it's true. It never feels like it, but maybe that's because I always have 10 coins and I'm used to it. So collecting coins is a highly important thing to do, and you should always have a good coin count on you. It's a great way to keep your speed up, and supposedly it has to do with getting triple stars on tournaments. I will get to that in a bit. But that concludes this tournament. Victory! Yay! What I mentioned before about the triple stars, on each tournament, when you finish it, you'll get rated with a number of stars, 0, 1, 2, or 3, as well as a gold cup, silver cup, or bronze cup. Getting the gold cup's great, but what a lot of people strive for is to get the triple star rating on these races. And as you can see, I only got 1 star. Now there's several factors that go into this, or so I've read. In fact, believe it or not, it seems like nobody really does know how to get triple stars. But from what I can tell, the one thing that you absolutely have to do is win every race. I've read that sometimes people think coins affect it. I've read that people think boosting and drifting helps affect it. And then I've heard that people say like the amount of time you're in the lead affects it. Now, I don't really know how you get triple stars because nobody ever seems to really have a direct answer to this question. So really it all just comes down to racing well. So race well and you'll be on your way to triple stars. I have triple stars on everything. For this walkthrough, I'm not really shooting for perfection. I'm just trying to have some fun while I show you the tracks. I know I spilled a lot of information in your face. This was the information part. Thank you for bearing through it. We're going to have some fun with the rest of the tournaments. So, thank you, and good night.